What's up guys, Deceiver here. I'm here to bring you a guide for EFT today that's going to bring you from this.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
To this. So buckle up your straddles, boys, and let's get cracking. Alright, so the first tip I have for you guys is to go into your inventory as soon as you load up the game, see what you've got, get some of your gear, and go into an offline mode game with PvP on. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do is learn how to kill the scavs and learn the maps. Not necessarily in that order. You might want to actually learn the maps first and then learn how to kill the scavs. Now, when I first started this game, it was pretty difficult for me to actually even kill scavs. For some reason, they're actually worse than players to kill in this game. They'll turn around 180, headshot you. A lot of times they'll, shoot you in your limbs, in the same limb multiple times. They'll do a lot of these different things. So there's different strategies on how to kill scavs. Obviously, killing them from a distance is the easiest way, but you can also kind of memorize their movement patterns and how they work and do things like that. But the very first thing you want to do is learn how the maps work and where the extraction locations are. Also, I have extraction location guides on my channel as well, so I urge you guys to check that out as well. Tip number 2 is be a stalker. Be patient, move slowly. Sound travels quite a bit in this game, so you want to be as slow and as patient as possible in this game if you want to be successful. Now, you want to stalk your prey. You want to take your time, come up right on their butt, and then pounce on them. Now, if you watch Cotton, that's not how he does things, but Cotton's very good at the game and knows the game very well. So ignore how he does it. That's not how I urge a new player to play this game. You want to be methodical, you want to be slow, and you want to think like the other players and like the scavs and be sneaky. And if you do all these things, you'll get out alive, you'll get out with some gear, and that's how it'll work. Tip number 3, be a pharmacist. Carry as much medication as you can on your body. I carry tons of meds with me when I go into a raid, and that's because I don't leave home without them. I'm an addict, so I have to have these meds. But you definitely want to bring all the meds that you can. You want to bring painkillers, splints, bandages, car med kits, whatever you got available. You want to bring multiples of each with you in the raid. I fill my gamma container with meds. I fill my pockets with meds, and I even put some meds in my vest as well. So definitely bring lots of meds with you. Tip number 4, don't be afraid to use your good gear. Like if you got M4s and forward armors and helmets and stuff, don't be afraid to use all these things. You can get them back later if you lose them. However, using this gear is going to give you an advantage over other players. So the likelihood that you come out with gear is greater the better gear you actually bring in with you. Yes, there is a chance that you're going to die and lose all that gear if you're not good and don't know what you're doing, but don't be afraid to use it because it's going to give you an advantage over a guy that's just got a pistol and no armor and no helmet. If you're wearing a helmet, forward armor, and have an M4, you're going to kill him almost every single time unless you're the most god-awful FPS player in the history of the United States. Tip number 5, farm for keys. You're going to want to get as many keys in the game as possible. The best place to get these keys is going to be on the customs map. You can also get them on all the other maps though. Factory is probably second best for getting keys. But the most important key you want to get is the factory key, which comes off of customs. There's several different places that you can get them. I might make a guide on where you can find the factory keys later on, but for now there's other YouTubers that have factory farming guides. The factory key is very, very important. It's probably the second most important item in the game that you actually get. It lets you into a lot of areas that you wouldn't be able to get into otherwise. So definitely get the factory key, and there are a bunch of other keys that you want to get as well. as far as the most recent patch, patch 4, the marked room is one of the most important places to check as well, because it drops a lot of good loot, and the document case as well. The document case is the most important item that you can get in the game, and probably one of the rarest, maybe not the rarest now. The factory key might be a little bit more rare, but the document case is more important. So farm the keys, farm the keys, farm the keys. Tip number 6, figure out which gun is best for you. So me personally, I like M4s, I like the MP5s, I like the USEC type guns that you get from Peacekeeper. Those are my favorite type of guns because they shred through people. Now some people prefer AK-47s or 74s or whatever else. So some people prefer the Keter. There's many different guns that you can get. If you're a sniper, there's sniper rifles that you can get. The OPSKS is actually a lot of fun. I like playing with that as well. So there's going to be a lot of guns in the game when it does release, and there's quite a few guns in the game now. So figure out which guns work best for you and use those guns, farm those guns up, and sell the other ones, I guess. Tip number 7 is kind of a given, but insure your gear. It's worth it more now than ever because a lot less people are actually getting out of raids with gear. A lot of people are dying before they even get out of the raid, so your possibility of getting your gear back is pretty high. My stash is completely full because of all the insured gear that I get back. So always insure your gear. It's going to be worth the money that you spend on it, and I'm pretty sure that the money you spend on insurance actually levels up your traders as well. So always insure your gear. Tip number 8 is play your scav when he's up. Now, I don't always follow this tip. I don't need more gear, so I don't play my scav very often, and I'd rather level up my player. But if you don't have a lot of gear, play your scav every time that it comes up. Every 30 minutes, you'll be able to play your scav, and you'll be able to go onto a map, hopefully get a few kills or loot some stuff to get some money, and that'll help you get more gear if you're lacking on gear. That's how I gear up. If I don't have gear, like I said, right now I'm not lacking gear at all, so I don't really play the scav. But as a new player, you're going to want to play your scav as much as possible. Tip number... What tip are we on? Tip number 9, I think. 9? Yeah, we'll go with 9. Tip number 9, you're going to want to learn the loot spawns, where the different good loot spawns on each map is what you're going to want to learn, because you're going to want to go to these places, obviously, to get the loot. Like I said before, the marked room is a very high loot spawn that spawns crazy amounts of gear in it, and almost every time you go in it, it's got something good. And there's several different places that you can go to find the loot, so make sure you keep track of where you find good loot, and pretty much anywhere is pretty good to explore now. You can find something valuable pretty much anywhere on any map, so just explore and keep track of where you found what. Tip number 10, sell things that you don't need right then and there. Now, I had a big problem with hoarding when I first started playing this game. I just kept everything because I thought that I would need it at some point. But most things you don't need right then and there. Like if you find a part for an M4 but you can't even buy M4s yet, sell the parts. You're going to need the money in the short term more than you're going to need that in the long term. And by the time you're able to actually buy M4s, then you'll be able to buy that part again. So sell things that you don't need right then and there. If it's not a gun or some body armor, then just keep that stuff, but sell other little things that you don't need. Now, I would recommend watching some of the task guides to see what items you're gonna have to turn in for tasks so that you keep them, like flash drives and Saluas and stuff like that. You want to keep so that you can turn them in for the tasks. But anything that doesn't go to a task and anything you're not going to use immediately, sell it. You're gonna want to use that money. Alright guys, and my last tip for the video is going to be stack things inside of your bags and inside of your unused vests. This will save you a lot of money in your storage space, especially if you don't have Edge of Darkness edition. I started with Standard edition and upgraded to Edge of Darkness because I didn't have enough space, but you definitely want to put stuff inside of your bigger bags. You can stack bags inside of your bags, and you want to put stuff inside of your vest. Like I've got an alpha rig that's full of Tashanka food for one of my quests, and that's where I keep all that so it's not taking up space in my inventory. So make sure that you stack stuff inside of your bags. Alright guys, that's pretty much all I've got for the tips right now. If you have any questions about maybe something I didn't cover, comment down below and I'll either make a video on it if it's something that could be answered with a long video or needs to be answered with a video, or I'll reply to your comments. I'm pretty good about replying to comments, so just leave a comment below, like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more Escape from Tarkov videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.